We are connecting online. If you put full screen, sir, they'll ask you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Dr. Madhuvamshi. So there's a small organization called Wellness Only. It started by Maheshwari, and I'm one of the co-founder. And in this, we try to go to schools, corporates, and try to give awareness about mental health. As you know, mental health is so stigmatized that as much as we give awareness, then only I think people will come up and talk to us. Okay? And I'm sure this will be an interactive session. I want the faculty to take part in this as well. Be interactive and try to listen to me. Next. So I just kept this slide. So all of you must be knowing this slide. But don't know who am I? Psychiatrist, psychologist, counselor. Anybody want? Psychiatrist? Counselor. Okay. Mentors. Thank you. So many a times, ma'am, we are not aware what is a counselor, what is a psychologist, what is a psychiatrist. It's all, everybody seems to be the same, but it's not like that. So as a psychiatrist should do 4.5 to 5.5 years of MBBS, then 3 years of MD in psychiatry. So it's a super specialization or post graduation, like they do in MD in surgery, MD in orthopedics. Like that, we have something. Where can do MA, BA, PhD, and that is a course of. But what is the major difference? A psychiatrist can give you medicines and also give you therapy. But a psychologist can never prescribe you medicines. Be assured that a psychologist should never prescribe you medicines. Psychologist or counselor. Okay, this is a major difference, and I want everybody to understand. And when people come across you, have you met a psychiatrist, psychologist? People don't really understand. Okay. Next. So this is a small. And we can improve. Yeah. So there is a small emoji where you see psychologist. There is a therapy, counseling going on. Whereas psychiatrist can also give medicines along with therapy. Next. The question is, have you ever visited one? Have you ever visited a mental health professional or any of your friends or any of your students must have visited? Right. But what do you think would be the reason to visit a psychiatrist or a mental health professional? It's a five-letter word which starts with S.
Stress.
Correct. So next. So it can be stress because of your friends, it can be stress because of your exams, it can be stress because your senior must have scolded you, it can be stress because of your deadlines, family pressure. Any stress might resort you to go to a psychiatrist or any mental professional. Next. So many of you think stress is a great motivator. Actually, many of my seniors used to say, if you're stressed, then only work hard. But actually, the fact is, stress isn't always a motivation. Sometimes it can push you, but at the same time, it can pull you back. Okay, next. Yes, this is a very good concept, man. Especially, I want the faculty to understand. What do you mean by perceived stress? Perceived? Anybody? Will you start perceived and then? Correct. మనం అంటాం ఏంటమ్మా ఇది చిన్న విషయం ఎందుకు పట్టించుకుంటున్నావు వై ఆర్ యు సో వరీడ్ అబౌట్ ఇట్ బట్ యు షుడ్ నెవర్ సే దట్ వాళ్ళకి స్ట్రెస్ ఉంటుంది ఫర్ మీ ఫ్రమ్ అవుట్ సైడ్ ఇట్ మైట్ లుక్ ఇట్స్ వెరీ stressful. For them, it's a big thing. So try to understand. Never say, right off that it's a very small thing, why are you thinking about it? That should never come across in your mind. Yes. But what does stress lead to? Stress will aim about. Physical aim about anybody? Health issues like sleeplessness, hypertension, diabetes, anybody?
Yes.
Cholesterol and hyperlipidemia, hair fall is also a major cause. Thyroid also, and next. Stress can actually lead to all these things: cardiovascular diseases, cancer, respiratory diseases, diabetes, hypertension, you have dyslipidemia, that is cholesterol, obesity, rheumatoid arthritis, kila noppulu, and various other physical symptoms. But next. But it can also cause something like this. What is this? Have you watched this movie? Split personality, multiple disorder. But that is the most common myth, that it is actually called as dissociative identity disorder, DID. So what do you mean by DID, sir? In this movie, we choose not Aparichitudu. He has three characters, kada? Ramu, Remo, Aparichitudu. Yeah. So whenever he was in stressful situation, he was changing into the other character. If you actually observe the movie properly, stressful ga unnappude atanu vere character lo change ayyaru. When he was normal, he was not changing. And when he changed another character, he doesn't remember the previous character. So something like this can also happen because of stress. Only depression, anxiety, kadamma. Ilanti kuda avvachu. You know what is the percentage of this kind of disorder? 1%. And ikkada 100 mandi unte oka out. So that's a huge percentage. 1% of whole population can have this. Recently, 2 weeks back, a case వచ్చింది. He was a 21-year-old boy who was just completed his degree. Because of this financial issues, he was working in a petrol pump. So whenever he used to go into places, one day he went to Bangalore, after 3-4 days he went to Varanasi, he went to Chennai. Then we asked him, I said, he doesn't remember anything. This is called dissociative travel. So he came back home, Google Pay transactions, bank transactions, he was going to running away from other places. And they disassociate. The normalcy is dissociate. So dissociate identity, dissociate traveling, amnesia, much more to that. So something like this can also happen. Next. And also something like this can happen. What is this someone? Anybody? Anybody watch this movie? At least you know the actors there. Dhanush and Shruti Hassan. So ఈ మూవీ పేరు 3 కరెక్ట్. ఇందులో అతనికి ఏం డిజార్డర్ ఉంది? Bipolar disorder. Correct. So what do you mean by bipolar, sir? So ఇది normalcy అనుకున్నాము. This is a normalcy. A person if he is stressed out, he can become extremely high, where he feels grandiosity that I am the chief minister of this place, I am the prime minister, I can do this, I can donate to 1,000 people. But in reality, he is not capable. That is called extreme state of mania. మన అందరికి డిప్రెషన్ తెలుసు, లో ఫేజ్ తెలుసు, బట్ ఎవరికైనా హై ఎక్స్ట్రీమ్ ఫేజ్ ఉంటుంది మేనియా. దట్స్ లైక్ వన్ సైడ్ ఆఫ్ ద పోల్. Then after 2-3 weeks, he falls on into depression. So it's like you're going either side of the pole. Anke bipolar. So it is 3 to 4% of the world population. Ante ikkada 100 mandilo 3 to 4 members undochu. Bipolar. So already dissociative identity 1%, bipolar 3 to 4%, and some next one. Anybody? Who is this actor? Anybody? Father. So this movie is called as Karthik Calling Karthik. ఈ మూవీలో అతనికి ఎవరు మాట్లాడుతున్నట్టు వినిపించడం, ఎవరు కనిపించకపోయినా కనిపిస్తున్నట్టు. These are the he was having auditory hallucinations. A disorder name అంటాము schizophrenia. Absolutely correct. And this can happen to about 1% of the world population. So already మీరు 5-6% ఇక్కడ already diagnosed చేస్తున్నారు సార్. So that's the case. And I'll give you one trivia. వీళ్ళ father పేరు జావేద్ అఖ్తర్, మీకు అందరికీ తెలుసు. But do you know Javed Akhtar's elder brother is called as Salman Akhtar? He is one of the world famous psychiatrists. He works in University of Pennsylvania as a professor. Okay. So in this movie, he was having these auditory hallucinations. Vilpistundi. So man schizophrenia annappudu maatalu vilpistundi, hallucinations. Second thing is delusions. So hallucination is dissociative identity. Delusions, hallucinations, types of anxiety, auditory, visual, schizophrenia, bipolar. Other. So hallucination is a symptom of schizophrenia. So schizophrenia, we have multiple symptoms. One is hallucinations, and second is called as delusions. Delusions are anybody? These are called as false beliefs. False beliefs which are unshakable and which are against the socio-cultural background. And if Tuesday also we should not go to barber and evening time we should not cut your nails. Even socially man accept is superstitions. Yes, కానీ అవి delusions కాదు. Those are called superstitions. అవి నార్మల్గా అందరు ఫాలో అవ్వచ్చు. డెల్యూషన్స్ అంటే ఏంటంటే మీరు ఒక నమ్ముతున్నారు అనుకోండి, నేను చెప్తాను అమ్మా కాదు నిజం కాదు అన్నా కానీ come up with alternate expressions. Say that ఆ పక్కన ఇంటి వాడు కావాలని నన్ను ఈస్ ట్రైంగ్ టు ఇరిటేట్ మీ, నా ముందేదో చేస్తున్నాడు. బట్ ఇన్ ఫ్యాక్ట్ ఈస్ నాట్ డూయింగ్ ఎనీథింగ్. వాళ్ళ ఫ్యామిలీ అందరికీ తెలుసు, ఓన్లీ దిస్ పర్సన్ ఫీల్స్ దట్. These are but fixed false beliefs which are unshakable. నేను చెప్తాను అమ్మా ఎందుకు చేస్తారు అలా, people they talk next to you but they never believe. In fact they'll come one time morning time అతను నన్ను చూశాడు, some random explanation will come up. So delusion and hallucinations of a person is called as having schizophrenia, and 1% of the world population actually has schizophrenia. Next. So just a science about it. Dopamine is a molecule now related to schizophrenia. I just want you to remember. Next. Is it visible? Not clear, but it's an upside down photo of yes, Kirti Suresh, the movie Savitri garu. So a movie lo chusarama. She was one of the most popular actors. She had all the riches. She was earning well, but just because of some stress of the relationship, she went into addiction, alcoholism, extreme alcoholism. And alcoholism can also happen because of stress. And not just alcoholism, there are various other addictions right nowadays. You might be wondering, 1 week back I got a case. He was a 28-year-old boy who was working in a software thing. Yeah, but he had one addiction. He said he was having snake bites. Can you believe it? Snake bites. So, in fact, my books don't believe it, but there are only studies about it. So, I had to research into what happened. There are small poisonous snakes, very small poison on the way, వాళ్ళు bite చేసుకుంటారు weekly once. What is slowly creeping into Hyderabad as well, unfortunately, and there is no medicine for it. Only we have to take him to rehabilitation center and then make him better. So something big like that can also happen. మనం ఓన్లీ ఆల్కహాల్ అనుకుంటాం కానీ అలాంటివి కూడా అవుతున్నాయి. So about alcohol, I just want to give some science behind it. There are two molecules called GABA and glutamate. GABA is an inhibiting molecule. So మనకి అందరూ అనుకున్నాం ఆల్కహాల్ వల్ల ఎక్సైట్ అవుతారు, but actually alcohol is a depressant. It depresses your body. ఎందుకంటే GABA is an inhibiting molecule that is very high in them. So so this is brain which is in the form of spring. You take alcohol daily, drinking, it depresses your body. And one day you don't drink alcohol. What happens to the brain? Shakes. This is called as alcohol withdrawal. Innara evarna? Oka 1 day, 2 days తీసుకుంటే చెడు నొక్కడము, ఫిట్స్ రావడము, జిటరీ అవ్వడము, hangover ఎవరన్నా ఉంటాము. That is what happens. So this is small science behind why alcohol withdrawal happens. Next one. And this is a famous actress, singer called Amy Jackson. She was very popular in Hollywood, but she had something called as eating disorder. అంటే తను ఏమనుకునేదంటే she was actually very fit, but కొంచెం తిన్నా కానీ she felt she was having a lot of weight. And she took gagging చేసేది, laxatives తీసుకొని వామిటింగ్ చేసేది, మోషన్స్ చేసేది. Then almost at the time of her death, she died at a very young age because of this issue. She looked something like that on the right side. Okay. And you must be surprised. 3 weeks back, I got a case from USA. The baby, the kid was around 12 years. So all of a sudden, she stopped eating. So ఎందుకంటే వాళ్ళ మామ అన్నాడు, ఏంటమ్మా బొద్దుగా అన్నాడు అంతే. So she stopped eating. She constantly was in front of mirror. నేను ఎందుకు ఇలా అంటున్నా, but actually she was healthy. She was not మామయ్య casual అన్నాడు. Then they went to multiple pediatric hospitals. ఇది ఎక్కడ వెళ్ళాడు. Then finally they came to me. Small medicine, she got better. So that is called anorexia nervosa. That was our diagnosis. When she is better, she went back to USA also. So alantivi kuda avvochu. Next. So ఇప్పుడు నేను చెప్పిన ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ లో what happens to most in the end? అందరికి అపరిచితుల్లో కానీ ధనుష్కి కానీ ఏమైంది? Did they survive? Did they die? I think they were not alive, right? So ఏమంటారు సార్, మీరు అందరూ ఎవరికి వచ్చినా కానీ చనిపోతారు కదా. So this is small understanding of statistical, and estimated 7 lakh people die by suicide every year, and over 1 in every 100 deaths were the result of suicide, and it is twice more common in men than in women. Okay, and suicides are more common in above 50 plus. మనం అనుకుంటాం under 30 వాళ్ళకి ఎక్కువ ఉంటుంది, but statistically 50 plus వాళ్ళకి ఉంటుంది. We have seen cafe coffee day owner expiring. Many people above 50 plus they end up committing suicide. And most important point ఏంటంటే mental health crisis is more common in lower middle income countries and India, Southeast Asian countries. But because there is no awareness there, people will not come outside. In fact, when I was working in Islamabad, I used to see a lot of farmers committing suicide or attempting suicide. They used to come to a hospital, we used to make them better. Then they used to come to a department. So we try to understand, what's wrong with them. Many people are saying loans, debts, but when we try to actually assess, before they were committing a suicide or attempting a suicide, 2 months before they were suffering in proper depression, clinical depression or death. They were not able to go outside, they were not able to eat well, they were not able to interact. So, when I identify JC, before somebody could even attempt, we could identify them and we did a large scale study. And then many people actually survived. That a depression నుంచి ఒకవేళ బయటకు వచ్చేస్తే they had the will to get back their loans, repay the loans, repay the debts. And in rural areas, so one head of the family dies, the whole family gets shattered, right? And that way we could survive most of the families. And you must be knowing, rural we have this culture of going to faith healers. Baba antamu, Darga antamu, usually mental health alert. So we had a small concept there. We went to a popular Baba Darga place and said, sir, just give us a small table beside. Just tell us, come to us. So what happened? They came with that faith and they also took our support. That way we could treat a lot of villages. This concept we call as Dawa or Dua. Dawa ichevalamu and akar Dua unnamu. So that way, and then usually what we say is that ghashan undali. Psychiatrists, papalaki, other people, there's not much need. If you can collaborate with them, I think that is the better approach. Talk to them, they're more accommodative. While the chair is the table, they're more than happy. In fact, the flow of devotees to the place also increased after weekend. So collaborative approach is what we thought would happen. Next. So I just digressed, but all of them have died in the movies which I've shown, but many also have survived. For example, next. You prepare Deepika Padukone. She's one of the most popular actors. She was diagnosed with major depressive disorder. Okay, and she runs a beautiful foundation called Live, Love, Laugh in Bangalore, and she survived this. Although she was depressed, she survived this. Next. And the molecule here, like I've said, is serotonin. We have one. Anybody?
How do you get that molecule?
Yes, no, exactly. Anybody? John Nash. It's called John Nash. He won Nobel Prize in Economics. You know what was the disorder he was suffering with? Any guesses? Schizophrenia. So, Okasar schizophrenia is strong end. The people who could fight it out and still they could win something like this. And there's a beautiful movie called A Beautiful Mind. In a way, Hollywood movie, it's based on this story. Possibly you can. Next. Avengers to Iron Man antamu, Robert Downey Jr. antamu. He is actually suffering from bipolar disorder. And you must be surprised that many Bollywood there's a famous singer called Yo-Yo Honey Singh.
Yes, sir.
He's also suffering from bipolar. And due to confidentiality, there are a lot of Tollywood actors who are having bipolar. I cannot name them, and few of them are my patients also. But then they still come out of it and they're still doing well in their life. Next. 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 Anybody is famous cricketer? Wasim Akram, correct. Vikandar was a legendary cricketer, so many wickets. But after his career in cricket, he went to cocaine addiction. He has written in his book also. Then multiple times rehabilitated Hindi. Then he finally got out of it as a famous commentator. And he was actually he was having diabetes at the age of 25. So, but still survived. So although you're having addictions, although you're having a lot of mental illness, you can still get out of it and be better. Next. Next. But how did they do it? How did they do it? LISR. Only two concepts. Anybody know?
Their willingness to overcome, the willingness from within.
Correct.
Self-motivation.
Correct. And
Recognizing themselves that there is a problem.
yes. Next. Identifying early signs. So, if you don't know a person is suffering from schizophrenia, or if you don't know this is a symptom of schizophrenia, how do they even go to a doctor? If you don't know a person is having bipolar, or if you have suffering symptoms of bipolar, how will you even take them to a doctor? Or a professional? So, identifying early signs is a key way. So, what are the early signs? Anybody? Early signs? Sleep, appetite, early signs in insomnia. Can be can be any change of it can be either increase outside food, junk food, thing. So it can be excess food or decreased. Okay? And they're not active in your surroundings. So any change in their normal being, you can suspect some kind of illness. And it need not be a diagnosis, but something is wrong with it. So if 2 days of a person and just ask them what's wrong with you, what's happening. So that one question actually enlightens them. Somebody is there. Because many times in depression, anxiety, loneliness is the reason. So if you can ask that one question, and they do not want answers, they just want you to listen. It will catch up. Because they already have the answers. Okay? So identifying early signs is the key, and any change from the normalcy, you should suspect some kind of stress they are going through. Need not be depression, need not be schizophrenia, need not be a proper diagnosis, but some stress they are going through. You can change their appetite, sleep, or their day-to-day function. Next. So, stress causes psychiatric illness. Psychiatric illness further aggravates your stress, and it's like a vicious cycle. So, how do we break it? How do we break it? Next. So, how to break this vicious cycle? First is educate yourself. So, if you can attend this session, something like this, to understand how disorders are, diagnose stress now, you can understand how people can go through various kind of illnesses. Second is healthy lifestyle. So, what do you mean by healthy lifestyle, sir? Sleep and the person, 8 hours, appetite, limited food. Okay. So There is a myth that a sleep should be only for 7 to 8 hours. It's a myth. So actually, even sleep is personal. So for me, I can sleep for 5 hours and next day I can be working fully. For some people, 9 hours, 10 hours, for course, I would write exam, but I cannot sleep for 9 hours. I have to be active, I have to read, right? So sleep is personal. Never be in that notion that, oh, 8 hours is workout, oh, 7 hours is workout. It's never like that. For you, it might be 5 hours. For somebody, it can be 9 hours. If you're tired, you might sleep for some more time. But you should know what is best for you. Somebody asked me, Prime Minister of India only sleeps for 4 hours. How is that possible? Is he lying? I said, for him it's possible. He sleeps for 4 hours, he's happy. But somebody might require more time. Okay? We should never say that sleep is for 8 hours. Second thing, there's something called a Zen mode, madam. Remember, Zen is a Chinese concept. Those 2-3 hours of the day, we are extremely active. Our brain is extremely concentrating on anything. Like you'll remember forever. I think we identify చేసుకో. So for example, night 10 to 12, I'm extremely active. You give me any book, I can complete in those 2 hours. But all through the day, I cannot read. Try to be awake during that time. For some people, it may be 4 to 6. It can be evening. I don't know. Depends on each person.
Identify that.
So, I come from a lot of studying. So I used to keep on studying all through the day. So I found out this is my time where I'm active. So usually it depends on you. If you can be attentive during that time, lot of things don't come in your head. You'll be only thinking about that thing. Let's suppose you're working on a project and body. Your family issues won't come in your head. You just complete that project. So time everyone will. That is called Zen mode. And try to be active in that. Okay? Sleep 8 hours is a myth, so this is the concept behind sleep. And second is appetite. I'll give you, madam just asked about serotonin. I'll give you 5 foods now. Please try to have every day. This is called serotonin diet. Okay? So serotonin is happy hormone, which is naturally available in our diet. So I request you, badam 2 to 3, walnuts 2 to 3, 1 glass of milk, 1 glass of coconut water, 1 banana, and something called as dark chocolate. కొద్దిగా టేస్ట్ చెడుగా ఉంటుంది, బిటర్ ఉంటుంది, బట్ ఐ రిక్వెస్ట్ యూ టు హ్యావ్ 1 స్మాల్ పీస్ ఎవ్రీ డే. ఇట్ హ్యాస్ హ్యూజ్ అమౌంట్ ఆఫ్ సెరోటోనిన్. ఓకే, అండ్ third thing is sunlight exposure, madam. You have abundance of sunlight, but nobody uses sun. That is the unfortunate. In fact, I see every patient of mine having vitamin D deficiency. Although vitamin D we know that comes from sunlight, it also has serotonin. Many people don't know that. So if you can spend 20 days or 20 minutes a day, that would be. And fourth important thing is walking. So under when gym exams are live chestamu. Don't sleep at home, don't do heavy lifts, just do walking. You can do 20 minutes a day. So preferably go to park, sunlight untundi, walking around. 20 minutes you can do, that's more than enough. So these are the 4-5 things I request you to మీ lifestyle లో మీరు inculcate చేస్తే that will be really useful. And third thing, madam, appreciate yourself. What do you mean by appreciate yourself? I didn't know myself. So what we say is called rewarding. So many times, ma'am, I see a lot of students saying that after I get that sleep, then I'll go and do something. No. Before you do that, if you read something today, try to motivate yourself. maybe go out for a walk, maybe talk to a friend. Everyday appreciation is important, and you should appreciate yourself. Nobody will appreciate. And if you're not doing well, you should punish yourself. That is a good form of punishment. Okay. So appreciating yourself is the key. And I request you long-term goals and small-term goals to chase it. Try to appreciate. And take breaks. You've toiled so hard. Take breaks, half a day with family, might go out, spend. Taking breaks is equally important as much as you work yourself. And most important thing is a close child. So we need one friend in your life, one well-wisher in your life. Even if you require at 2 o'clock in the morning, you are available for your call. Your she will be available. So make sure you have that. You don't require hundreds of friends. One friend is not. And of course, let's do some stress management to break the vicious cycle. Next. So everybody relax. This is something called as Jacobson's progressive muscle relaxation. Everybody, I want you to do every day for about 5 minutes. That will be really useful. Close your eyes and please follow whatever I am saying. Please take a deep breath and exhale. Please tighten your fingers. Relax. Please tighten your arms. Relax. Please tighten your forearms. Relax. Please tighten your shoulder muscles. Relax. Please tighten your facial muscles. Relax. Please tighten your stomach region. Relax. Please tighten your hip region. Relax. Please tighten your thigh region. Relax. Please tighten your legs region. Relax. Please tighten your feet. Relax. Slowly open your eyes. So this is called as JPMR method, Jacobson's progressive muscle relaxation. So this is proven by WHO, proven by Indian health authorities. So I request you to do every day for about 5 to 10 minutes. Okay? And the best part is in the Ekaruna church. You can do in your home, you can do in your staff rooms, anywhere it's possible. And this will relieve your stress. Okay? Next. And please do mindfulness, madam. Anybody? Mindfulness? Meditation does not on that. So, there is something called as mindfulness. So, what do we do? Early in the morning, simple act of brushing your teeth. 5 నిమిషాలు. All your senses, all your mind, all your taste senses should be on that. After 5 minutes, really ఆలోచించు. And it need not be for brushing, it can be any act. Say you're eating food. Every bite of it you should feel. After 5-10 minutes, full concentration, mindfully on that. Now, when I'm driving, those 10, no problem in the world will happen. Allah, any one act, not all acts, any one act. It can be eating, it can be chopping vegetables, it can be brushing, anything. Whatever you like. Please do it every day. So why this is better than meditation is because meditation until we need a calm space, we need to sit alone. It's not easy. But this can be done with your daily activities. You You don't have so much time. So any activity, sipping the coffee, those 5 minutes, you're fully into that. I'm not thinking about anything else. So this is the second thing I request all the faculty to do. Next one. Next. Does this work? Okay. So here this is a character from Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum. So Shah Rukh Khan and Hrithik Roshan try to hug each other. So I request you, whenever you meet next time, your faculty, try to shake hand, try to hug. So there's a beautiful hormone called as oxytocin. It's called love hormone. That is released. So when you say don't say hi, shake hand, try to hug each other. So every day, hug karo. This is called hug therapy. And I'm not saying it to, this proven by WHO, there are a lot of studies which shows hug therapy actually stress relieves from your stress. Anyway, and next is, and walk like this. Maybe not flamboyant as Rajnikant, but every half an hour to 1 hour, walk 2 to 3 minutes. Just walk around. Need not be like fast-paced walking, just walk around. This walking will really help. So I was saying, maybe not so flamboyantly as Rajnikant, but every half an hour to 1 hour, walk for 2 to 3 minutes. If you go out on the ground, if you just look at all the students. So walking actually helps relieve stress. Okay? These are simple things: hugging, walking, mindfulness, and JPM. I think this can be done in your day-to-day activities. Okay? Next. And if you still require, you can continue. Next. So these are few things I want you to tell as teachers. I've added this for the teachers. So when you're trying to be with your students, because nowadays a lot of students are also going through mental illnesses. So there are few 2-3 tips if you can involve in your day-to-day teaching. One is having one-on-one sessions with your students. Many times, either they don't come and tell you, or they do not want to tell you the truth. So maybe monthly once or maybe 2 months once, I don't know. You can have a one-on-one session. And many times, if you have one-on-one session, they're more likely to express. Yesterday, I had a session in one of the other college. I was surprised there were so many people who wanted to come and talk to me later, alone. I asked, anybody wants to speak? No. But later when I was there, about 20-30 people were villagers. So maybe one-on-one session will help you, and please do it regularly. Okay.
Not their class, because
So,
they have one-on-one sessions. In the counseling. But still some people behind that they don't want to adapt. They want to talk. We get what they will think about us. So that really gets anyone. They
yes.
should open up. If that way we need to counsel this, we will experience.
Maybe for that, open dialogue is necessary. Open dialogue, or maybe you talk about depression, maybe you talk about anxiety. So it's a normal thing. అందరికెలా జ్వరం వస్తుందో అందరికెలా చేయి ఉంటుందో డిప్రెషన్ కూడా అవుతుంది.
For example, these teachers were good. All the time they don't feel like to share with all teachers. One teacher they will recognize, oh, this matter, okay, I can share with them. So they go to that matter and they have seen my observation, my experience, 30 years experience. Somebody comes to me also. I can share with a better more want to share. Like that people, connectivity is very important. Connectivity is teachers cannot attract all 50 students, they can attract 5 students.
That's more.
That's what I mean.
Next one. I just wanted to include this concept now. I request all the faculty to understand. So people do not want sympathy, no, they want empathy. So what do you mean by that, sir? Anybody?
Understanding their perception.
Sympathy and empathy.
So,
Sympathy and you feel pity and a value crying and what's but people want them to cry with them. People want them to laugh with them. They want you to be in their shoes. So empathy is more important than sympathy. If you can bring that, I think students will be more happy. Next. This is actually a psychiatric concept, ma'am, but I think it should be also useful for the faculty. So when we tell a student to do something, it's out of goodwill, we make them understand. They do for 1 week, then they stop. So many times what we do is, and you lose faith in it. But that is because you're so into him that he should get better. That's why you feel that he's not able. So I think you should draw a line. Your thing is only up to telling. Doing is up to him. So that is the transference, counter-transference, where we say, do not try to embark into their privileges. You can tell them, but once you say that it's not doing, still you're trying to explain, that is because you're emotionally attached to them. Please do not be emotionally attached. You can only give them an advice, but you cannot force them. So this concept might also be relevant for faculty. And I believe mental health issues or anything, many times I do not give answers to my patients. I just listen to them because they already know the answers, which I have already told. So active listening on that. And be judgment free. Don't try to judge them why are you doing this, why are you doing that. They must have done because of their circumstance, because of their situations at home or whatever reason. Try to avoid judgment and try to listen. I think listen, most of the issues are sorted. And most important thing for the students. Next. So this is called phone addiction. How many of you are having less concentration nowadays? Concentration has reduced. Endukanta? Reels, shorts. So when I was young, I used to read a book for 7 days, and I used to wait for that climax. So aim of the reel, that hero, what would happen? Then I would get that dopamine. But nowadays, you just require 10 to 15 seconds to have that dopamine, and that is called bad dopamine. Unfortunately, because of these reels, attention span is reduced. People are not, and we must have seen this in the class also, they're not able to concentrate for long times. So I'll give you tips, maybe you can tell your students also, and maybe you can follow as well. So the cycle is simple now. You pick up your phone, you go through the reels, dopamine increases. After a few seconds, again it drops, and again you want to watch something. That is the cycle. Okay, next. So these are few tips from about mobile addiction, and I think it will be useful. And you should set a positive example. So after COVID, ma'am, I'm seeing a lot of autism and ADHD cases. Autism, there's something called autism. Young kids, so under 5, under 6, so they're not able to concentrate. They're not able to communicate with others. They don't look into the eyes. They look elsewhere and talk to you. And if they want water, they don't tell them about water. They go there and show that they cover. So that is being, and they tell, sir, YouTube lo ee video open chestadu sir. Then maatladamante maatladadu. So they're very happy is opening something in the YouTube, but socially is not able to do. But we know how social skills help later on in life. And of late, autism has increased because of phone addictions. So I tell the parents who come to me, మీరేం చేస్తారు సార్ ఇంట్లో ఉన్నప్పుడు సార్ మేము ఫోన్ ల్యాప్టాప్ వాడుతుంటాము మీరు ల్యాప్టాప్ వాడుతుంటే వీల్ ఆల్సో బి యూస్ టు ద స్క్రీన్ రైట్ యూ షుడ్ సెట్ అ పాజిటివ్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇఫ్ హీస్ ప్లేయింగ్ యూ షుడ్ ప్లే విత్ దెమ్ ఇఫ్ హీ వాంట్స్ ప్లే విత్ ద కార్ buy another small car and play with them if you want some play with Legos or toys you also should play so set a positive example either parents or either as teachers if we do not do it maybe others will do it. And there are few healthy tech habits. One is 1 hour before sleep, please do not use any tech. Phones kani, iPads kani, TV kani, kindly do not use. You can do anything else in that 1 hour. Yes. So, what best preferable thing? Few things that you will do in that 1 hour. All through the day, maybe you have something to do. Maybe you want to fold clothes, or maybe you want to talk to a friend, or maybe you want to spend time. You can write down and say that this 1 hour I'll do it. But 1 hour before, please do not use. And second is digital detox antam. Winner evarana digital detox. So 1 week every 6 months, please do not use any tech. iPads can be possible, impossible. I don't know, but maybe 1 year a day, if you can do that, a lot of self-confidence increases. I understand that phones are a necessary evil. It's necessary, but then there are certain disadvantages of it. So if you can have 1 week, year or 6 months, digital detox, that can be really helpful. And encourage physical activity, any physical activity, hobbies. When I was a kid, I used to do a lot of sketching. Nowadays, nobody is doing sketching. Sketching game on iPad or just I was like, book on iPad. So I don't know, hobbies are also being lost. And reward positive behavior. If they're not using phones, especially kids and body, try to reward weekly once, try to reward them. So what we tell is called star charting. Anybody heard about star charting? So pillarly, if they say that if you tell them to do homework, they won't do. But if you tell them if you give something at the end of it, they might do it. Okay. So what we tell is, వాళ్ళ రూమ్ లో ఒక చార్ట్ పెట్టమంటాం పెట్టి మండే రోజు నాన్న నువ్వు 2 hours హోంవర్క్ చేసావు అనుకోండి అది పుట్ అ బిగ్ స్టార్ ఇలా got a big stars అలా మండే ట్యూస్డే వెడ్నెస్డే థర్స్డే ఫ్రైడే సాటర్డే సండే then we buy them some small thing which he likes I don't know maybe chocolate maybe something so this is called positive reinforcement you make them used to that habit. At the same time, if he is not doing it, you tell him that you did not do. That is not keeping the star. This is called good form of punishment. Bad form ante kottadam tittadam. Many people, when you hit them or when you scold them, they might backfire. But try to do this good form of punishment. It will really motivate them. And of course, if you have any more issues, you can seek professional help. And next thing. Yeah. So, do you still think depression is an American word? Like Kapil Dev has said? I'm open to questions. Please, I request you to ask any questions. I would be happy to answer in my wisdom. It's either two ways. Either you have understood everything or you have understood nothing.
Sir, actually, like you were mentioning,
Yes.
the person who is planning or who has gone into depression and going into suicide. Like we had a student who came into, like he took admission for psychology actually. He's a PG student and he was from different streams. So these days we take all students. And he came in for first internal also. He walked in late and all those things. And he had a lot of friends. He used to make friends very quickly. He was a very cheerful boy, and he bought himself a cat as well. But that day, the day before he committed suicide, he tried calling few of his close friends. Unfortunately, no one could pick, and he called at around 1 or 2 o'clock in the midnight. And but no one was actually ready to accept it, because seeing him being so cheerful, like he was not depressed or he was not on the lower side. So in this condition, how do you actually he's going through these things?
That's a beautiful case, no? Where these are called impulsive suicidal attempts. So these people might not be having any depressive episode. They might not be doing any depressive symptoms before the attempt. It can be spur of the moment. They might have fought with the family. They might be like, when I was working in Nizamabad, there used to be a lot of cases that you didn't buy me a scooter, and then they used to really go and take that herbicide or whatever, poisonings. That used to happen spur of the moment. This is called impulsive attempts. And many a times, these are very difficult to detect because they're very happy, cheerful, talking to everybody. But at this moment, no, the only way is that had somebody had lifted the phone, that would have made a difference. But unfortunately, nobody could do, and so that's why we say having one friend. He might have 100 friends, but there was no one friend who would lift at 1 o'clock in the night. So unfortunately, that has happened.
There are some people that are
Absolutely not. Threatening behavior. So there's a very stark difference between those who attempt to threatening and those who really want to do a suicide. When they threaten, no, they'll tell that family that I'm doing a suicide. And after taking that poison or whatever, they'll only come and tell the family that I've taken it. This is called threatening behavior. And many times these people would never want to die, just want to threaten people. They want to threaten us. నాకు రిపేర్ అందుకే నేను చేసుకుంటాను నాకు బయట పంపాలి అందుకే చేసుకుంటాను. That's the usual understanding. For them, the usual constant won't work. There's because there's personality issue. They come under personality issue where they are having these borderline traits. Their impulsivity is there, so they have to be treated in another character.
So some simple OCDs like washing hands, cleanliness. How to overcome all this?
Absolutely. So after COVID, I think many people, many are doing it. So there are two concepts I want you to carefully understand. There is something called OCD and OCPD. OCD అంటే obsessive compulsive disorder. OCPD అంటే obsessive compulsive personality. So ఇప్పుడు say take my home only. My mom says that అక్కడ ఉండాలనుకుంటుంది అంతే. అక్కడ ఉండాలి అక్కడ చదివితే she will be mad at me. That is a personality where she just wants that to be there. But actually OCD ఉన్న వాళ్ళకి that never need. They'll wash their hands so much that they'll have fungus on their skin. It's a myth anamata. OCD unte chaala neat anukunta. That is actually OCPD. That's actually personality. Speak and span undalante correct undalante. That's a personality. But actual OCD unna vallaki em avutante obsession. They get this constant thought in their head that that's not neat. They do it once, twice, 5, 4 times. I had one case, he used to take bath for 6 hours a day. And 2 tanks in the home should be gone.
Because we had a student, sir. She stopped taking food because if you take food, she has to go to the washroom, and that is something against her cleanliness.
Correct. That's
And she stopped coming to college also.
That's a definitely obsessive symptom. So because of that obsession, she had a compulsive act. So some people hold petama lena chustaru once, twice, thrice, and that is actually number untundi if you observe. 10 times chustene they'll feel relaxed, and that anxiety reduces, and after 10 minutes, again they have another answer. It's a
How to overcome this?
and yes, I think this is a personal answer. I don't think you have to do anything.
Like reassuring yourself.
Reassuring to them. So there's something called exposure and response prevention. Inna level. So what do we do is, say suppose a person is having cleanliness of obsession. So what do? We give them a small cloth, and we tell them to not wash hands for half an hour. Then we'll give a dirty cloth. Then we'll tell them not to wash hands for half an hour. Allah slowly over a period of 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, he gets accustomed to it. Saying that nothing will happen, nothing will harm. It's called graded exposure and response, where he has to wash hands, that is prevented. Exposure and response prevention. So that actually works for OCD. We actually do a wonderful result. Why doesn't she want to show her face?
So yes, she was fully quiet.
So there's a trauma associated. I think this is some underlying trauma of childhood also use. Oh.
She said that she was fully quiet.
So many cases. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for giving me this opportunity, and I hope it has helped you.